All right, bro, don't roast me too hard. I just got out of an interview, so that's why I look fancy. But when I broke up with my long-term girlfriend in college, right, I first had the idea to break up with her and that this is something that we needed whenever we were both studying abroad in Italy. And this is my long-term girlfriend from 2.5 years, right? And I didn't speak Italian at all. I didn't know the language there. And she was the only person I really knew also in Italy. So what an inopportune time to have this realization, right? But once we got back to the US, we did end things. And another realization I had right after that was that I realized I had no friends outside of our shared friend group. That's a toughie. Completely on me too. That's completely my fault. My bad on that. And I learned a lot from that. But at this point in my life, I felt like I not only wanted, but needed valuable friendships of people who are really caring, loving, and honest with me, right? Stand-up guys who would like tell me when I was being a bitch. Honestly, that's what I needed. And I failed to make them. I failed to make those kinds of friendships because I was just accepting people in my life who weren't the best for it, who our values didn't completely click, right? Like friendships and also relationships too. I accepted the kind of people who weren't right for me because I felt like that's what I needed. And it led me to feeling more alone than ever, to my anxiety, my depression getting worse and worse and worse. It was one of the darkest times in my life, to be honest, but I'm going to show you exactly what changed, exactly the things that I learned so that I make the kinds of friends that I want anywhere that I go now. I have valuable friendships. Any fucking place. And I'm on top of the world because of that. I have this confidence of moving to new places, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where I am. I'm going to make the friendships that I want because I'm just that guy. And this is the place that I want you to be at too. So if you don't already know me, my name is Grenoble, and we are a gang of like-minded young men who are no longer settling for the monotony and depression that comes with living a life of average social skills. Specifically, our goal is to raise 5,000 young men by the end of 2024 up to not only become socially literate, right, but social leaders, to become these social celebrity versions of themselves in 2024. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, go ahead, hit the subscribe button right now. The first thing that I want to talk about is you've heard over and over again that you are the people that you surround yourself with. Of course you are. Of course it makes sense. So of course it makes sense that you want to have these valuable people in your life, valuable friendships. Anyone who comes at you for trying to make those friendships, for trying to learn social skills and thinks it's cringe or like it's dumb to try and learn how to talk to people, they don't get it, bro. You just have to have this view that it's not that they're bad people, they just don't get it. They aren't like you and I. These people who are hating on you, who are thinking it's dumb or whatever they're going to say to you about trying to learn social skills, they haven't been through the same shit you and I have. They haven't had these family relationships that might be a little bit off. They haven't had these periods in life where they felt so fucking alone. And like, good for them, honestly. But people like you and I, we know how important this shit is. And we know that it's a skill that you can learn. So we're going to fucking learn it. Anyway, now that that is out of the way, the more you surround yourself with people that you want to be like, the faster you're going to be like them. So of course it makes sense that you want to make valuable friendships. But one mindset that I think that you have right now, that you definitely do have because you clicked on a video like this, is that you think that other people are more valuable than you, right? You put these people on a pedestal up here of saying, these are the guys that I want to be friends with, but I'm down here, so I'm not going to talk to them. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet because I'm not like them. They aren't going to like me. I'm not cool enough to talk to them. I'm not buff enough yet. Whatever it is, man, you have to realize, and not necessarily in an egotistical way, but I do think a lot of men should become more egotistical because having a strong ego is an important part of becoming yourself, right? Of being an authentic person. But no one is better than you. Just as a blanket statement for anything ever, no one is better than you as a person. Some people can be better at certain things. Some people can have certain things that you don't have, but no one's fucking better than you, bro. Because think of this in terms of the person that you want to be friends with, of this valuable guy that you want to hang out with. Maybe he's been going to the gym for a few years and he's already fucking buff, right? The only difference between you and this guy is that he's had the time to put into the gym, right? He's either been doing it for years that you haven't done yet, or he knows one thing that you don't. Those are the only two things that are different. So either you are going to go to the gym for years and you're going to look like that later on, or you're going to learn the one thing that he already knows and you're going to start to become this guy too. The only difference is one bit of knowledge or time, and you're going to become the guy that you want to become. So why would you put this guy on a pedestal? It's not that he's a better person than you. It's not that he has different traits or qualities, that he's been born a certain way that you haven't. He just has knowledge or time. You're one YouTube video away from figuring out how to diet correctly to get to that point. You're 3 years away from being at that point if you have the knowledge, right? So don't think of them as being better than you. And this applies to people who are really charismatic and social too. They've just had the right cues growing up, or they've learned, like you and I have through social skills books and practice, that how to do things that make you seem charismatic, how to do things that win friends. So don't think of them as up here on this pedestal, because they're not. They're just like you. You just need knowledge or time. So go ahead and start acting like you are this guy, and you're going to make more progress, right? You're going to shortcut the progress if you can mentally shortcut yourself to get there, right? If you don't think that anyone else is higher than you on a pedestal, it's going to be easier to talk to them. It's going to be easier to start taking the actions that lets you become the person that you want to become. So no one's better than you. And also, you're not better than anyone else, right? Because everyone has this opportunity to do this kind of thing. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about, and probably the biggest thing when it comes to making friends who you deem as valuable, is show, don't tell. Write that fucking down, bro. Show, don't tell. Because the premise of this is being non-needy. Because when you bring needy energy to any relationship or friendship, right? This works the same way with girls as it does with making friends, is people are repelled by needy energy. The only people who are attracted to needy energy are other needy people. But if you want to be friends with people who are making life fucking work, right, and who are non-needy, you have to be a non-needy guy too. You can't expect other people to be doing the work for you. You can't expect for some buff guy to come invite you to the gym and to show you every exercise and to lift the fucking weights for you, bro. It's not going to happen. You have to do the work, and you have to start becoming the person that you want to become, and others are going to notice. You can't need or rely on other people to motivate you. You have to be in there getting the reps in. You have to be making the moves. And that's the next part of this that I want to talk about, right? Get the reps in. This is one of the biggest pieces of advice I'd give to my younger self, is you have to start getting the reps in. As much as you want to read about it, as much as you want to watch the YouTube videos, nothing is going to change if you don't go fucking bench press, bro. You're not going to get the chest if you don't bench. As much as you look up videos on the bench form, it's not going to happen unless you go fucking do it. You're not going to start becoming the social guy unless you start talking to people, getting the experience in, right? So when you start taking the initiative, not waiting on other people, not being needy, doing it your fucking self, people are going to notice. Maybe if you're going to the gym, they're going to notice you start getting bigger. Maybe if you start talking to people, they're going to notice you're more open, you're more authentic, you're more comfortable in social situations. You're a lot easier of a person to be around. Your sense of humor is developed. You're a funny guy now. People are going to notice. And it's a good thing that no one is doing this work for you, right? One of the biggest quotes that has impacted me throughout my life is, "I wish not for an easy life, but the shoulders to bear a hard one." And I'm building the shoulders, bro. I'm getting the boulders. But when you start living your life by this, you start taking shit on the chin, you start putting the reps in, and you start gaining the XP in each thing that you're doing to become this next version of yourself. If someone else is doing the work for you, you don't gain that XP. This is why a huge way that this has shown up in my life is I'm no longer have a fear of moving to new places, right? I'll get a little personal, but whenever I moved to college, I was super afraid of moving to college because I was afraid that I wasn't going to make any friends, that no one was going to like me. And even after college, bro, even as a grown-ass adult being 21 years old, when I moved to Atlanta, I was afraid that no one was going to like me, that I was not going to make friendships. And the hardest one for me was moving back here to my hometown because of all the mental health shit that went down here and all of the ways that I used to be that I didn't want to be anymore, the kind of person I was, that people had this image of me, and moving back, they were just going to see me the same way. Mentally, this was the hardest place for me to be. And I still not only made it work, but I made a fucking amazing friend group here. And I feel really connected and like I'm part of a community. Now I know, because I've fucking done the hard work, I've built the shoulders, right? I can bear that anywhere that I go. I can make a sick friend group any fucking where that I go. Because I've done it in the hardest place possible for me. I've done the hard work now. I can just do it again. And it's gonna be fucking easy. So now you know how to get from point A to point B, right? From being this version of yourself to this next version of yourself and making the kinds of friends that you want to make. Now I'm going to tell you how to get there faster. I'm going to cut the time not only in half, but like in eighth, bro. Because there's two things that are holding you back. In any situation, there's only two things that are holding you back. One, physics, right? The physics of you working out long enough. You can't build a body that like your 10 out of 10 dream body in a week. It's going to take time physically. But with communication, with social skills, physics don't really apply for the most part because we're connected with almost every single person in the fucking world now, right? You can call up anyone. You can talk to any single person. And social media has made everything so fucking connected all the time. But the second thing that people are limited by, and this is what you are limited by right now, why your progress is slower than you'd like it to be, is self-image. Those are the only two things that are ever going to limit you. Physics, self-image. So right now you're limited by self-image because you have this idea that you can go and become this version of yourself, but it's going to take time. It's going to take experience of you doing the things and getting there. But what if it took an eighth of the time that you originally thought? If you were thinking it's going to take you a month to get comfortable making conversation with people, starting conversations, being the initiator, what if it took you a week? What if it took you 2 days? What if I put a gun to your head and said, if you don't go get 5 contacts by the end of the night, you're going to die? That's not a threat, bro. That's not a threat. But like, what are the things that you do to make that happen tonight if you absolutely had to? If there was no other way, you were going to die if it didn't happen. What are the things that you would do? For whatever social goal this is, let's keep this on contacts though, because that's probably what you're struggling with, honestly, is starting that first conversation and getting the contact of people that you see as valuable, that you want to be friends with. So go ahead, pause this video right now and write down 10 things that you would do to make that happen tonight. And if you don't do this, bro, you're not going to change, right? Most people aren't going to write this down. Most people aren't going to pause the video. But if you do, you are the kind of person who puts shit into action. And you are the kind of person who's going to change from videos like this. You're not just watching YouTube video after YouTube video, right? You're making actual change in your life. And you're the kind of person I want in my game. But pause this video and write down these 10 things that you would do to make this happen tonight, to get 5 contacts of people you want to be friends with. Okay, now that you're back, most of these things that you've written down are probably pretty doable. Some things are probably psychopathic, right? I would hope so, because that's the kind of creative thinking train I want you on. You probably have on there, knock on doors until 9 p.m. each night until you get contacts of people, right? You can cross the things that are psychopathic off, but the things that aren't fucking psychopathic, bro, are probably just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. They're things like spend an extra hour in the gym because in between sets, you're meeting people and getting contacts, or go to Starbucks and make it a point to meet every single person there. These things, bro, seem scary right now. They seem hard to do, but it's a self-image thing because right now, both of those things would be pretty easy for me to do, right? I could go up and talk to anyone that I want right now and feel pretty fucking confident about it just because that's the kind of person I am. I've put in the reps and gotten the experience to do it. If you front load your experience, right, and you just fucking do the hard shit right now within a few days, you're going to make that progress much faster than anyone else who's just taking their time with it, who thinks they need to just do little bits, take these little tiny steps. And with some things that works, But with social skills, bro, you can front load the hard work and get comfortable in these situations a lot faster. You just have to have the self-image that you're going to do it. That's it. So, last thing I want to mention is the Social Accelerator, right? The Social Celebrity Accelerator, first link in the description. What that is for months at a time, you and I are going to work one-on-one together, and we are going to get you to this point in life where you are a social celebrity through one-on-one coaching, but also exclusive materials that you aren't going to find on YouTube. It's stuff that I can't necessarily talk about on YouTube, but you and I are going to work together one-to-one. If that sounds like something that you want to be, something that you are interested in, go ahead and click that first link. And for all these progress shortcuts that you wrote down, right, go ahead and pick one of them, just one, that you are going to do, and pick a place and a time that you are going to get it done. Because when you pick out a place and a time, it makes it real. It's an appointment in your calendar, and it's going to happen. So make it happen, bro, and become the social celebrity version of yourself. Act now and become unstoppable.